Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is a TAFA and chart analysis for March 24th, 2022. Now, one thing about the recent Bitcoin pump, we kind of know why that's going on, and that's because of a buy by a single entity, not because of any trend. We know that Terra Luna founder Do Kwon is trying to buy billions of dollars worth of reserves for Terra Luna. So because of that, the last pump, up to about 43,000 a few days ago, was in conjunction with the first of $125 million worth of buys of Bitcoin, all like within a very short time period. And now this pump to 44,000 may be the same thing. How do we suspect it's the same thing? Because there is a suspected wallet of Terra Luna that transferred $125 million twice. The price went up shortly after the first $125 million transfer. And now the price is going up shortly after the second $125 million transfer. Now, $125 million of Bitcoin is not really all that much. But the thing is, like, bought over a very short time, it can easily pump the price of Bitcoin. The first time it went to 43,000, now we're up at 44,000. Now, I don't really know if we're going to have the volume to maintain these prices. And they want to buy several $billion worth of the coin, so they could actually buy several more times. Will that spur a bull run? It might spur a kind of short one under these specific conditions. With the war providing uncertainty, gas prices still rising, and now Russia demanding that Europe pay gas in rubles, and all this destabilization, I don't see a sustained big run. But hopefully they can actually buy enough to at least float us up or push us up to 50,000, because that actually might get some retail investors interested. However, retail confidence is based a lot on economic situation, and I can't really see retail investors just wanting to jump in. Retail search interest in crypto is still very, very low. And I think it will actually take for inflation to actually go down a bit, probably later this year, for retail interest to basically come back up. So right now, despite the pumps right now, but that's mainly because of, I think, Terra Luna co-founder pumping it every once in a while, buying millions of dollars worth of crypto right now. And Do Kwon did actually mention that he's going to buy billions of dollars worth of crypto, and we've almost confirmed just by the data that is Terra Luna's wallet transferring and buying $125 million of Bitcoin very quickly in a short amount of time period, helping the price come up. And I think he is either in the middle of its second buy or is already done with his second buy. If you actually look at the chart, we have been going up today, and the basically we have been actually going up today pretty well. And if you look at the 1 day graph, I mean, there was this big pump right here from about 43,000 to 44,000, and I think that's when he actually did his buys very, very quickly. It's a very sudden pump. You can see it's a fairly noticeable spike in green volume that happened. So I do believe it is the Terra Luna pump. So like I said, they wanted to buy several billion. I think they've bought about 250 million, so there might be a couple of these left. So the thing is, you should keep a track of whale watchers. And if you see that wallet address, basically getting $125 million worth of incoming Bitcoin, incoming Tether on the wallet address, then you could probably buy in a little bit, because it could pump by $1,000 or $2,000. So that's probably going to keep us going. Now, that kind of screws the TA up a little bit, because, because that's not like a consistent thing. Like, after a couple of these pumps, he's probably going to stop buying, because after he gets enough for his treasury, he's not going to keep buying. So if you take these out, then the graph looks very, very different. If you look at the 5 day, like this, I think is today's buy, and I'm not really sure if this, like a day or two ago, was his first buy. But the thing is, if you actually take these two out, I mean, as the price gets higher and higher, it gets harder and harder to pump. If you take these two out, we're actually pretty flat. But if you actually keep those two in, we're obviously very, very bullish right now over the 5 days. Over the month, because of these two, we're almost at the last top in early March. But realistically, like I said, it's actually really, really hard to tell what the graph would actually be like without the Terra Luna pumps. I mean, and we can't really be sure they're all Terra Luna pumps because we do have situations like this where only two of these are Luna pumps and not all three of these. So it might have pumped anyways. So maybe the pumping is creating a lot of positive sentiment. Like even without the pumping, we wouldn't have actually gone down all that much because like we never even reached close to the bottom of like 33K when the invasion first started. And even without the pumps, if you actually look from here to just here before maybe the pumping started, we're still very, very positive. So I would say like most of the negative sentiment, unless Putin starts using like nuclear, chemical, biological weapons or something like that, we could see a downward trend definitely. But unless he actually does that, I say even without the Terra Luna pumps, we're going up. And specifically with the Terra Luna pumps, we're definitely going to have jumps. And there is a decent chance we'll surpass 45 or even 50,000 if Do Kwon continues to buy Terra Luna reserves at this pace. Because like I said, $125 million is still like, 20, 30,000, 3,000 Bitcoins worth of money, and buying that all at once at any exchange will actually pump the price up. And you have to do it at a fairly large exchange to actually have enough liquidity. And it does actually look like he's actually buying some of them on the market, thus helping trigger crypto pumps. So you could actually watch whale watchers and see if there's any exactly $125 million worth of transfer to certain wallets. And you could actually make longs based on that. Now, you won't be able to get those off the charts because charts really can't predict when he's going to buy a bunch of crypto again. That's basically one entity pumping crypto at this point. On that. So you have to watch whale watchers really, really fast. But right now, at least with his buying right now, crypto seems very, very bullish on the charts. And because there's no indication that he's really going to stop buying, it could actually be pretty bullish for the next couple of weeks overall. Technical analysis wise, the EMAs all the way down to the 100 and the SMAs all the way down to 100 are buy. The commodity channel index is overbought, and so is the stochastic. And usually that would actually mean sell because the average directional index is pretty low. But the thing is, like with Do Kwon actually buying every once in a while, you can't really look at these because even if it's overbought and he decides to buy $125 million again, it's still going to go up. So I'm actually kind of neutral on the oscillators. It's more of watching like the whale watchers thing than anything else. The moving averages are obviously going to be buy, but once again, like we did not make the golden cross on the daily. Not even close yet. We're still at 41,126. The EMA for the 200 is still 44,000. If the 50 ever crosses the 200, that's the golden cross, and that could be a signal to buy. Now, technically, with BTC at such a high level, we're almost on a buy for the 200 EMA. But the 50 EMA has not crossed the 200 EMA. I still think we need about 3,000 or 4,000 points for that to actually happen. I will be looking closely at that to see if it happens. And when it does, if it does actually happen, that could be a major bull signal. But right now, I would be very careful because if Do Kwon stops buying, we might actually essentially dip down back to like 41,000 because it looks like he is kind of the source right now for these pumps the last couple of days. So on the 1 week graph, all the oscillators are pretty much neutral. And the moving average for the 10 and the EMA for the 10 and the 20 are actually buys. So is the EMA for the 50. So the indicators, because of the pumps the last couple of days, are definitely coming around. I can see Terra Luna wanting to buy more when the market is cheap. So I could actually be cautiously bullish about like the next few weeks if he buys more. Now, I would definitely be bullish as soon as I see the $125 million transferred. Otherwise, I would actually be neutral. So instead of watching charts the next couple of days, I would actually watch whale watchers to see if that transfer actually happens, or watch the news to see if anyone reports that if that transfer has happened, because both these pumps have actually come maybe within a day of the $125 million worth of USDT transferred in to actually buy Bitcoin. And we know this because it's the same address that got both transfers. And we can guess it's a Terra Luna address because of other circumstances around the address. So that's actually what we're actually looking at right now. On the monthly, it's going to be a pretty strong buy right now, but the EMA on the 10 is still on a sell right now. One more thousand up, and it will actually be on a buy. But so if Do Kwon pumps it again, like the EMA on the 10 will actually switch to buy. The oscillators, however, are still all pretty neutral. So I am pretty neutral on the monthly. So right now I've turned from bearish to bullish, but that's only because I know that he's like Terra's actually buying for the reserves. And I'm only really bullish right after he makes certain transfers. So watch for that, like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.